Hey everyone, Rob Jarrett back with you. We're working on week number 4 of the Maffetone diet regimen and diet and training regimen, and I should say the modified version of that. Um, we're going to talk about real quickly the 5 and 2, what I'm calling the 5 and 2 sustainability plan, some of the effects that were observed. So, bottom line up front, kind of like I've been doing, these all continue to be true. Improve morale. I definitely continue to feel more alert, decreased hunger. The weight trend continues. Acid reflux, I've mentioned this before, I wasn't 100% sure, but I've had like 2 incidents now in four weeks, and it was fairly increasingly common before. And one of the things that I've noticed is that both of those occasions occurred after one of my 2 days, the carbo days. So we'll talk about that just a little bit in a minute. Generally speaking, decreased GI distress. When it comes to when it comes to the 5 day window in this last 2 weeks, I've been doing 5 days of the low, no carb, no sugar, and 2 days of, more or less whatever goes, right? And the the GI distress associated with days that have sugars and carbs in them it goes back up a little bit. Not horrible, but there's a definite. I've now had three sets of carb windows after week 2, the end of week 2. That weekend I had went out and we did some rice and tortillas and things like that, sweet tea, right, to celebrate 15 days and losing 10 pounds, right? Then after week 3, we had another day or 2 days there, and I actually kind of went from Friday evening until Sunday evening, and I really intended to go from Friday evening till Sunday lunch, but for some reason I ended up having some carbs Sunday night. And that weekend there was some GI distress, some acid reflux recurred in there, and on the Sunday night. So after basically 2.5 days of more or less traditional normal eating, that evening I had issues with acid reflux. Not a bad case, just more of the threat of it, if you will. And my sleep that night was disrupted. So was my wife's. She was basically doing the same thing with me, and we didn't sleep that well. And that led on Monday of week 3 to be, I was tired. I actually had to go. I went back, laid down for an extra hour and a half. Now after that, the rest of the day I was alert, and the rest of the week things continued to get better. So there was definitely some feedback at the end of week 3 when we had the 2.5 days of carbs, if you will. And really, that was really 3 meals: Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And breakfast was were low carbs, but it was more carbs than I had in 3 weeks, right? So, and then this last weekend, we went to see Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks at Nashville. Great concert. If you get a chance to see them in concert together, by all means, really great concert. But we were traveling, and it was harder to find, excuses. It was harder to find the right day. So we had breakfast. We had brunch when we got to Nashville after we didn't have anything to eat in the morning, Friday morning. So our carbo loading started in Friday at lunch instead of Friday evening, like I'm trying to do on my 5 and 2 plan. So Friday at lunch we had breakfast that included eggs, bacon, pancakes, syrup, and some potatoes. And the potatoes were wonderful, right? I enjoyed them more than the pancakes with the syrup. So the bottom line is we had a little bit of carbs on Friday, and then we had carbos. We didn't really have any carbs yesterday, And then today we had some carbs for lunch. We went to get some fajitas and stuff like that. So we're now at the end of 4 weeks. And the last 2 weeks we've been doing this, what I call the 5 and 2 sustainability. And that's where most of the week was done with the zero carbs, zero sugar. And then in our case, our trip to Nashville and our lunch today constituted the two meals that we had this past 7 days that were, free chicken. We had what we wanted. And both of them came with just a little bit of GI distress. Not bad, but compared to the 4 weeks that we've been doing this, we eat a meal that has carbs and sugar and we notice it. And then, the next day we're fine. Saturday we didn't do any carbs. Today we had a meal with some carbs and sugars, sweet tea, and all I'm going to say is we noticed it. Both of us did. So I'm going to, as usual, I'm going to hide my ugly mug here, and let's go ahead and take a look real quick